What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 90, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday at noon Eastern. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Nick Hassell.
That's me.
And Kellen Williard.
Yep.
We're trying a little bit of a new setup. Let us know what you think of it. It's a little bit of a mess still.
A little bit?
It's a work in progress, all right? It's a work in progress.
Still the same for me.
Right, you're okay. Me and Kellen have the table
This table is
legs
not made for this.
where they shouldn't be, but that's okay. I do want to point out that we are on episode 90, like I said. Episode 100, if my math is correct, we got 10 episodes. And then we're going to hit that milestone.
What are we going to do? Do we know yet?
We do know some things that we're going to do, but as always, we would like extra suggestions. Anything that you can think of that you would like to see, questions that you want answered, anything like that for episode 100, please leave all that down below. We have some ideas that we're definitely doing. One that I'm working on, see if I can get it to work. I'll know in a few weeks, and then I can talk about that. But yeah, anything extra that you think of, man, this would be cool to do, let us know. But besides that, let's move into what we've been playing. And I want to start with Kellen. What have you been playing, Kellen?
Not much. Mostly KOTOR 2. I was in the mood for something slower pace so I could just like relax and...
Something you played through a couple times?
A few times.
Whatever.
Not as much as the first one, but a few times.
That's fair.
I just wanted a good story and to hang out on my computer for a little while, so... I'm like 25 hours into that, so I'm almost done.
A little while, just over a day. Whatever.
I love that game.
He really wanted to stress his new computer and 4K monitors.
Yeah, I got a new 4K monitor. No, I fired up Doom for that. See what
I
it
was
is.
Good
gonna
man.
say, is KOTOR 2 the benchmark nowadays
Yeah.
to check those things?
It looks good in 4K, because it doesn't.
I mean, I believe
It stretches it. Yeah, I've tried Doom with that and Division and a couple other things, but that's all I've been playing, really.
How about you, Mr.?
I guess since we took a break from the usual format last week, I have
Yeah, we did the top 3DS
3DS.
games.
Mhm.
So check that one out.
I
I like that list.
played and beaten both Danganronpa 1 and 2. I'm not going to go, what is it, Despair Girls, I guess?
Yeah, Ultra Despair Girls.
Yeah, I'll skip that.
It's a good game.
That's disappointing.
But yeah, I played through both, solid 50 to 60 hours combined, I guess. Back to my usual standard of just blowing through games. For the most part, both have really good characters, and I guess they sort of tie into each other through anime and a couple other spin-off sort of deals. They all kind of loosely connect to each other in one big overarching plot, I guess. Both games are great. I think I prefer 1's characters, 2's gameplay and music, and 2's setup or scenery environment more.
Yeah.
Both are great. I'd put them both.
I mean, you prefer 1's characters. That's basically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 2 is just a better game because it's the second one.
Because it's
yeah, and it got more mini
attempt to-
games and stuff like that. And some of the soundtrack had like 8-bit remixes of some of the songs and
Did
stuff like
you
that.
feel like 2 dragged at all?
Sort of, but I was kind of scratching my head like, where are they going with this? And I think the payoff was worth kind of the slower pace.
That's how I feel.
Because the first one, I mean, if you're the first part of a series, I guess, you can kind of just go for it, like keep swinging for the home runs. Whereas 2, you have to like, the middle story basically kind of suffers sometimes because you're like, okay, let me dial it back, explain more here, fill in some holes here that maybe the first one had. Because it's obvious that they were going for not really a trilogy, because the third game that's coming out, next week?
Because it's not a trilogy.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it is. Ultra Despair Girls.
I mean, that counts.
But obviously they wanted to tie up a story or a series with it, and the second game was the middle child of that because it had to introduce all these new characters and then tie them in, so it has to do a lot more work than the first one, whereas the first one can just tell a story.
Right.
So that's probably why I like 2 more, as far as everything but the characters. The first one, I just feel like everyone had like, I want to say everyone, like 5 people, like the core group, all had their different parts. There was this guy who was real like mean to everyone, but like he would always cut to the chase and he would, swat away the stupidity of a lot of people. Whereas there's another girl who was more of a detective sort of role, and she kind of like, you would always get to right to the truth, but kind of just fall short, and she would kind of drag you there. And your character was cool because he was kind of a jack of all trades sort of thing. It was really good, and I like some of the quirkiness, I guess, of the first game's characters more than some of the. It felt like some of the second game's characters were kind of tropes, like some of the initial characters and stuff like that.
I mean, that's a big, especially like in the anime.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is like satire on anime
Yeah.
tropes. Even, I guess I don't want to spoil anything from the anime, but specifically in the anime, they like reference things that always happen in animes.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
like bring that up constantly. They're like, this is like something out of an anime.
Yeah.
Look at the camera.
And probably, 'cause, I mean, I hate to compare them both because they're both good games on their own, but since I played them back to back in such like a short span, it's hard for me to not compare them. The only other difference between the two for me is that one's cases, which I guess is the core part of the game, since that's what you're doing
50% of
to.
it, yeah.
That's like the bottleneck, I guess, for each part of the story or each chapter. I feel like the cases in the first game were a lot easier for me. Like, I think if there were 10 cases, I mean, I don't want to give it away because it sort of ruins it if you know, like, oh, this is going to be the last one. Yeah. So if there were 10 cases, like, I'd say probably half at least. Like, I would go into the case and I know who it is. And it's not... The game's not super plot twist heavy, whereas more like Ace Attorney is, where it's just some things just come out of left field, out of nowhere. Usually they kind of build it up in very, very small foreshadowing moments. Mm-hmm. So anyways, the first game, I feel like the cases were easier, and I kind of went in knowing, okay, I bet it's this person. Whereas the second game, I think I maybe got one or two.
Yeah, I got one right.
Before I walked in, and I kind of just did math. I was just kind of like, okay, there's a few more of these and less of these, so I feel like they're going to balance the characters out or something like that.
A girl's got to be dying.
So I just kind of did it that way and kind of figured it out. But yeah, like two scenery, like it goes into different environments basically. Mm-hmm. So whereas one, you're just, for the most part, you're in the school. Whereas 2, you're all sorts of places. Mm-hmm. So there's, I guess the variance kind of helps too, break you out of that. Like, oh, here's another day in school.
I like being locked in the school. I think I probably like one better overall because the story, it is a standalone story, and I think it's a really good standalone story. Specifically, I love the ending to 1. And I think 2
definitely needs 1.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But 2 expands it like so much that there is so much information in just the extra however many hours of gameplay that they added to it that it's kind of crazy.
And honestly, it feels like you need to watch the anime just for some answers into 2. I know it's kind of a tie up for that series, but like if you're not watching that, then there's a lot, I won't say plot holes because you don't feel like you missed something out of the game, but it's like a lot of backstory that you don't get.
Very important stuff.
So yeah, I really like them. I'd say, I mean, I don't like doing number ratings, but like I would put them neck and neck. They're pretty close.
No, yeah, I agree. They're close. And definitely both worth playing, for sure. Yeah.
The only thing that was kind of weird was these 2 were ported to the PC, which is what I played it on. So some mini games were a little awkward, I guess, with a mouse. Whereas if you're playing it on a hand, whereas if you're playing it on a handheld, it'd be different. But they at least did a good job porting it over and making it adaptable, I guess, to the PC. But there were just a few mini games where it's like, I guess they couldn't really done anything else to make it.
I mean, at its heart, it's a point and click adventure game, so it should, in theory, work in PC pretty well.
And obviously, 2 got to expand more on the spending time with people aspect of the game.
Yeah, I mean, they expanded everything. But that was awesome, that you could hang out with the people that you liked and get a little bit more of their story and information and stuff, which is something you kind of get to do in 1, but you have to like beat the game to like unlock that. And why? Just let me hang out with the people. Yeah, I really like those games. I think you should play Ultra Despair Girls. You'll be a little bit confused a little later, unless you read the thing on it. I don't know. But that does...
I thought about reading it, but...
It comes into the story, and it will come into the anime, I will tell you.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, it's not too long.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, you do that. Is that it for you? Just your 70 hours? Of
Yeah, just
Danganronpa?
planking
Plow
those
through
two out.
Danganronpa
I
games.
will be playing Pokken DX. I got that Friday, but I was kind of like, do I play the
Horrible
game
video
I've
game.
mostly already played before, or just finish out this so I can talk about it? And figured I'd
Who
finish.
plays games they've played before? Why would you do such a thing?
What a horrible video game.
So I'll play Pokken DX. Maybe jump in on the backlog a little bit again, but just kind of kill time until Danganronpa 3 comes out.
So for me, once again, I'm just not into playing meaty things right now. I'm waiting for Danganronpa. That's going to be the big one that I play next. I've just been hopping in and out of things. Played more Child of Light. I think I'm done with that game. I believe it was at the beginning of the year we did like New Year's resolution things, and mine was to be like, I'm done with a game when I'm kind of done having fun with it. I'm not going to force myself through. The story to this is like a fairy tale, so it's not like, oh god, I got to know the ending to this fairy tale. I'm sure it's a happy ever after.
Everyone
story,
lives happily ever after.
So I think I'm done with Child of Light, and I'm okay with that. I enjoyed my time with it. Okay.
Well, yeah, and it's not like you have a review deadline either,
Right,
so
yeah,
you're not
it's
forced
whatever.
to.
The game's however old.
There's
Yeah.
a ton of things competing for your time. So.
That's true. I played through a bunch of VR stuff because I had company this weekend, and they never played VR, so that's always fun. Got to put them through the Resident Evils and the Until Dawns and like Rez and stuff like that. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Finished up Batman's Telltale season 1. It was fine. I'm pretty sick of Telltale games. I will be playing Wolf Among Us season 2, but
Well, yeah.
Man, their engine is so bad. It
hadn't
so
changed
bad,
in however
and
long.
their gameplay in every single episode is less and less, and like more and more dumbed down. I remember Walking Dead specifically. That first, like, might not be the first, but there's like a puzzle area where you're in a store and you need to figure out how to get out. And if you go out the door, you get shot and killed. And it's like, okay, I can't do that. Let me try going this way. Oh, I died. I can't do that. And you need to like piece together the correct order to do everything in to escape, like classic adventure game stuff. And in Batman, it's just like, look around for some stuff. You did it. You triggered it. Go to the next scene.
You
And
found
I'm
the
like,
footprints or whatever, yeah.
I'm like, I know he's a good detective, but at least let me do something, you know? So I'm not going to be playing Season 2 as far as I know. Like, if I can pick it up one day for really cheap and I care, but from the previews I've seen of it and their interpretations of the characters, I'm just not a big fan of and all that stuff. So I think I'm done with the Batman series. I'm waiting for the Wolf, and then I'll hop back in. Hopefully they fix their engine. Hopefully my game doesn't crash all the time. You know, we'll see.
I keep forgetting about Guardians of the Galaxy as well. I know that's of no interest to you, but that's the only kind of Telltale thing that I would maybe jump back into.
Yeah, I mean, it's their engine that's the problem to me, not the game.
It needs
I
to be
played
updated.
Borderlands, and I've never played a Borderlands game, but I played Tales from the Borderlands and actually kind of enjoyed that one.
Yeah.
But the thing keeping me going in that was comedy. It's actually decently funny.
Yeah.
So when something's funny, it's easy to get through, even if the gameplay's because you're enjoying your time.
What, Batman's not
very funny. There's not too much comedy in the Batman story. It's just like, I don't know. I know Alfred's
But he's
in
Batman.
and they're all okay. Like, I don't know. They're not gonna die. They're not gonna, they just kill off Bruce Wayne
They can't
in the
kill
middle
any
of
of these people,
episode
yeah.
4. It's like, where's this going?
That'd be awesome.
So, finish that, and then my big one was Octopath Traveler. But I'm going to talk about that a little later in the show because it's a topic in the news.
That was a demo, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a demo that had multiple ways you could play it. It's really cool, but like I said, I'll talk about that later. So that's about it for me.
Still one of the strangest names.
It's not. It's their.
Yeah.
It's Project Octopath Traveler.
Yeah.
It's still their project name. They put it out like the demo as Project Octopath Traveler, which that is strange to me.
That is strange.
Why
You
wouldn't
don't have
you
a
name it before that?
finished
Like
name.
the only thing I could think of is it's secretly like a Bravely game or something like that. And
Oh.
they just don't want to say it yet. But I don't know. It's strange. So let's move into the news. We got a lot this week, mainly because we skipped last week to do the 3DS stuff. So we missed some things from last week.
And 2 conferences.
Yeah.
There was just a lot happening.
Nintendo was kind of like, oh, we're going to do a conference in 3 days. Oh, crap. And then Sony did their conference, which I knew was coming, but I didn't think it would be that relevant. And they, not like super relevant. They had one huge announcement, but they...
I will say
was a
Tokyo
lot of
Game
stuff.
Show can sometimes be like low-key one of the best conferences of the year. Just kind of depends on
It
what
just
else
kind of
going
sneaks
on.
up on you.
I don't know. I don't know if the best conference of the year can have that translator half-ass translating 90% of the things. But Let's start at the top. Actually, there was another one. Apple had a conference. They revealed their new phone that's 3 years behind every other phone.
Seriously?
They revealed their new watches, which are actually pretty cool. I like them. But the most interesting one to me, obviously, was Sky got revealed, which is that game company's the company behind Journey's next game. It looks like Journey in the Sky. It is a timed exclusive to Apple, which is strange because, I mean, I have an
Why
Apple,
would you do that?
I have an Apple TV. I ain't playing a game on the Apple TV.
No, there's no way.
So I was happy when, after they did the clarification that, yes, it's a timed exclusive, it's coming other places. Hopefully, I assume it's got to be coming to Switch 100%, since that's already kind of like a mobile thing, and that's probably an easy
That makes
port.
sense.
But I imagine this is going to PlayStation because they've had such success there. I can't believe it. It's an Apple first thing. That's so strange. But not too much to say. Guy in like a cloakish outfit, red outfit, walking out. It's the Sky. We'll have to see.
Guy in the Sky.
Their games are very interpretation based, so it's sort of hard to get from like 15 seconds of what we saw. But I'm excited for that. I know neither of you too high on the that game company, but
They have a cool statue.
they do. Have
That's
a
true.
Statue. Okami HD is coming to PS4, PC, Xbox One, December 12th. This was kind of a stealth announcement. I think it's $20. It might be $30.
Cool.
But
Worth it.
Super cheap, awesome.
Yeah, I
Not
wanna
on
play
the
that game.
Switch. People upset about that as always. Welcome to being a Vita fan. This is people. It's so funny because the Switch is literally everything the Vita was, except more people are realizing it. Like at least here in the United States, and it's just funny to watch people be like, "Oh, well, we got all these cool indie games, and we're happy with that." And I'm like, "Yeah, welcome to the world of the Vita that I lived for 5 years."
And they're still living.
Yeah, so I'm totally down with this. Totally on board.
Yeah, it's a great game.
I'll get it for PlayStation 4 probably. Real quick, the small bit of news, a little bit of finding out through job listings. There's actually two of these. First off, the Shovel Knight Team Yacht Club was specifically looking for a 3D generalist, which is a strange thing for a 2D platformer company to be looking for. So it seems like they're making a 3D game of some sort. They've talked about in the past.
Probably Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight 3D.
Yeah, they've talked about in the past that they wanted to do Super Shovel Knight and follow it up with Shovel Knight 64. They kind of wanted to make a Shovel Knight for each generation of the past. That sounds awesome to me. So I assume that's what that's going to be. Shovel Knight kind of appearing, like he's already appeared in 3D and Ukulele, which now kind of like, not deflates the excitement for it, but it definitely dims it down because we've already seen kind of what he'd look like in 3D, and the Amiibo also actually made him 3D. But
No.
that's cool. I'm excited to see what they do next because that game was incredible, and maybe their next game sucks. Maybe their next game's also incredible. We'll have to say. But I'm excited to see, especially see them play with 3D space because that's a totally different ball field than 2D. In the same vein, the Nier team. Nier sold over 2 million units, or at least shipped out over 2 million units, so you can assume it's going to sell. And there's been some job listings for another Nier game. So it seems like we're getting...
Let's go.
I don't know if it's going to be a sequel or what it's going to be. Take place in the same universe. Take place thousands of years later. We'll have to see. But that's exciting to me because I loved that game.
Agreed. It'll probably be 5 years away, but...
Oh, absolutely. They might be doing some concept art for some characters. That's about it. But let's get into some meat and potatoes from the past 2 weeks. We'll start with the Switch 3DS Direct that was kind of randomly announced and then showed up and actually had some cool announcements. We just have a couple announcements to talk about. I'll start and throw out the Octopath Traveler stuff.
Okay.
Talk about that. So Octopath Traveler came out. There's a demo on the Switch. You can go get it now and play it. It's a pretty decent demo. It's a couple hours long. And this is an RPG. I believe it is actually the Bravely Default team that is doing it. And they have some gimmicky term for it. I forget what they call it, but it's like 2D, 3D something. And basically the way it works is your characters are 2D, and all the sprites are... I mean, they're 2D-ish, but you're in a 3D space. So you can still walk. You know, there's depth to how you're walking and traversing dungeons. And the gimmick with this is that you can play as one of 8 classes, and the classes directly affect how the game is played. So I played as a dancer, and the dancer can...
Sounds about right.
Yeah, the dancer can allure men away from posts. So if there's somebody guarding a door, you can allure them, and it tells you like your percent of chance that it'll fail or not. And your reputation, you have a reputation, and it drops in the town if you start using the ability to allure these men. But you can get them away from doors to get through new areas, or you can bring them into battle with you. It tells you like their battle stats, and you can be like, "You're my new party member. Let's go fight some things." So I thought that was really cool. They also had another character who was a warrior who could challenge any character in the game to a duel. So you can just one-on-one fight any character in the game to get past obstacles or, collect items. Maybe the guard has a key and other characters are going to have to do like some sort of quest or something to get this key, and the guy's like, I'm going to duel you and just kill you.
I'll just fight you.
That sounds like a Kellen class to me.
And just take this key.
Okay.
So, yeah, I really liked the idea of this mechanic. I hope, and I'm not sure, and it seems like you're going to be playing through all of them, and then once you kind of get all of them, they'll all meet. This is my assumption. They'll all kind of meet, and then you can pick which one you want to use for what situations. I would prefer if the game was a little bit of a shorter RPG, but you could play through it as every character, and it totally changes how you'd be able to do certain quests. I think that would be cool, because if it gets to the point where you have everybody, then it just becomes a puzzle of what's the best way. And I would rather have it be like, how am I going to do this? Because I only have this one ability, and I need to, but the game is super replayable, because then you can play it as whatever the other classes
Go through it 8 times.
I think that would be really neat. As far as the story goes, what I know of it is interesting. It is absolutely an M-rated game. I feel like it has to be. The dancer's story is very interesting.
It's a hard life.
You have a daddy that you need to make sure he's happy, and
like a pimp.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you need to go to, you need to dance on stage, and then you don't make enough dancing on stage, and you have to sneak in this other guy to it's a whole...
You sure you're playing the right game?
It's a whole thing, and then there's a boss fight,
Nintendo.
and at the end of the boss fight, there's some dialogue that you don't say in E-rated games, and so... Without spoiling too much, I will say this game is definitely on the higher scale of the ESRB, for sure, which surprised me. Also, fully voice acted in English in the demo.
Good. Yeah, that's cool.
So that was crazy. It's also very strange to see an 8-bit-ish game voice acted.
Mm-hmm.
That was super surprising. And then the other big thing to talk about is the combat. And the way that the combat works is it's a little bit like Persona, where characters have certain weaknesses to certain things. So, the dancer uses dark magic, and she has daggers, so melee. So you might find an enemy that's weak to melee, and they'll have a shield with a number on the bottom, and you have to hit them that many times with whatever they're weak to break their shield, and then they're stunned for the next turn. And you get to do, an attack that'll do a whole bunch of damage to them. And every turn that passes, you gain, I think it's called a burst. You gain a little bit of burst energy, up to 6. And the way that works is you can spend it on an attack to repeat that attack. So if you have 5 and the guy's shield breaks at 5, you can spend 5 burst and do 5 of the same attack in a row to the guy to break his shield, and then you get another turn because he gets stunned. Things like that. It's okay for the regular encounters, whatever. It's really interesting when you have boss fights that... You want to make sure you use your spells that power up your attacks and everything for when you break his shield, so that one turn that he's stunned, you get to do massive damage to him. I had a lot of fun with everything I played in this game. I'm totally sold on this game. I know I just talked about it being short, but now I kind of want it to be a long RPG. I hope it's just super replayable, at least, because this is a good on-the-go game.
You want a short, long RPG?
It's not super reactive, so the Joy-Cons and everything work fine. It's not like a first-person shooter or anything like that.
No Twitch control RPG.
Right, yeah, it's straight turn-based, and it's not time turn-based or anything like that. So you can, take your time and make your decisions, or put it away for,
you can just turn it off and
come back to it. So really like it.
How's the music?
Excited. Very good. I mean, it's Square, so...
Yeah, they usually good about
That's what I was asking.
It's pretty good music.
Is it Square? Yeah, okay.
But yeah, very happy with this game. Coming 2018, that surprised me because it doesn't have a name. But if this demo proved anything, it's they're moving along with it. So, and I don't know if it's easier or more
I feel just keep the name.
It might be called It's called Octopath Traveler because there's 8 paths of characters.
Just call it Octopath.
And the other thing is... We only know those 2 classes. So there's 6 other classes that we don't even know what they do. I imagine one's a thief that can probably steal things from characters. I imagine, or pick locks maybe to doors. I imagine one's a ranger. That
Probably a knight or something.
Yeah, well, there's a warrior. I don't know.
I mean, more melee
knight, but
stuff.
yeah, and like I said, I don't even know if they meet up and you get to use
probably a wizard
ones in
The Wiz.
in combat or how that's going to work. So we'll have to see. But anyway, enjoyed it.
Square does like their magic, so they'll be a wizard.
Kevin would play as a dancer.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. It makes sense.
Oh, I sure did. And then I started the game and I was like, well, this is not what I signed up for. I didn't realize I was this kind of dancer.
Oh, yeah.
What else we got, Nick? Throw a topic at me.
My biggest one is probably Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because I've been saying for
And when's that coming out?
weeks and weeks and weeks that I've been like crossing my fingers and hoping that it comes out this year, and it is right the 1st of December. So
Right
that's
on top of
awesome.
every game I want to play.
It'll get delayed.
He can shut up.
It'll be like Mass Effect Andromeda.
No, if it wasn't for like the hours worth of footage that they've already put out on the game, then maybe. But I mean, this game's done for the most part.
Yeah.
You can tell this is mostly done. I like it. It's really cool. The fact that all the areas that they at least showed so far, you're going on like a big, like the back of a huge Titan. So they're like living worlds, I guess, that you're traveling across. So that looks cool. A big thing for me is that they cleaned up the UI on the game. I know, well, you've played a Xenoblade game.
Yeah.
There's so much on the screen.
There's still a lot. On
There
Yeah.
has to be. There's a lot going on.
But they've organized it well, and they've made it a lot more approachable rather than just like so much stuff on the screen.
Less clusterfuck.
Yeah, basically. Also, the combat system is pretty interesting. I haven't really paid too much attention to it. Like, I don't want to dive that much into it. Like, I still want the stuff to be sort of a surprise.
Right.
But a lot of it
Mario
has to
Odyssey.
do, yeah, a lot of it has to do with like there's an attacking class and then there's like a support for each person. I think it's called a blade is the actual melee or the fighting part, and then
The other one's called a Xeno.
no,
Missed an opportunity.
it's called a drive, I think.
A Chronicle?
But it's cool because, like, obviously the one person is sitting back there charging and supporting the guy who's attacking, and so you're constantly having to, like, stand in between enemies wanting to attack the person in the back and stuff like that. So that's cool. There's a lot going on. Only bad part about at least the reveal was the English dub was kind of terrible. That seemed to be a consensus.
I don't know how you guys feel about the me and Craig both didn't like the reveal at all. We both thought it was way too long.
Yeah, it was way
and
too
It was
long,
kind of
yeah.
weird because it was like like they revealed it and then I don't remember if they dated it. They might have dated it.
They dated at the very end. Yeah.
Yeah, they
so
like,
it was
revealed it and then pulled away, and then they're like, "Oh, and here's the game."
Yeah.
and then they pulled away, and they're like, "Oh, and here's the date."
Yeah,
And I was
it's
that was a
like
weird way to
usually
do
It's like
that.
they forgot,
you
yeah.
either get like actual gameplay or cinematic trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they did cinematic, and then it just kind of petered out, and then it's like,
And
oh,
there
here's
was no date, and everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Okay." And then it was like, "And here's 10 minutes of the game."
yeah,
and
it
then
was
a date.
it was literally 8 or 9 minutes worth, which is a lot for a Nintendo Direct because
Yeah, it was
they're very small,
like as
very
long
short.
as the Mario
Yeah.
stuff.
But other than that, they announced the collector's edition, which I thought was cool. They finally started putting pictures out of the stuff. It comes with a CD, metal case, hardcover art book. The art for that metal case, I don't know if you've
haven't
seen
seen
it.
it, no.
It's amazing. I think I pulled it up here so we can live react to it.
Oh
But-
boy, those get the views on the YouTubes.
But it's got like a
that
very
is cool.
like Final
I like it.
Fantasy looking art sort of to it. So I like it.
I need one of those spaceships.
I know, yeah. I know before Kellen and I have talked about Xenoblade X being one of our favorite games for a very underused system. But
Correct.
yeah, so I feel like it's going to bring a lot to the table. And I don't know, like after Persona 5 and Andromeda a little bit and some of the other games at the start of the year, I was like, is this Game of the Year race over? And we'll see.
Interesting.
It's got a chance.
I'll throw
Does it?
one out here. One that I was kind of disappointed in, but excited in at the same time, and that is Mario Party, the top 100.
Yeah.
So this is a remaster collection of the 100 quote-unquote best minigames from all of the Mario parties. This is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, this
out
is
of Mario.
awesome.
I literally was like, this is what I wanted. Now, it's only the minigames apparently,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have the boards, which I don't know how I feel about that.
That's kind of odd, but
But I wanted like one board from each level remastered, and then the 100 best mini games. That's exactly what I want. Give me it.
You also probably wanted it
Exclusive on the 3DS.
Yeah.
Why? Like, this would have been the perfect Switch game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's on the 3DS,
It's a better
so now I'm
3DS
not
game.
getting it. Good
yeah,
job.
but like you're like gonna sit like a 3DS like out in front of the couch in front of everyone or something and play
Yeah,
Mario
oh
Party.
my
Like I don't know.
It does. To be fair, it has the download play or download link or whatever it's
Yeah,
called,
yeah.
where
Yeah.
you can play with. You only need one copy of the game, and up to 4 people can play, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
But
oh, I'm
if
not.
there's
Don't point at me.
absolutely no boards, and it's just mini games,
yeah, what's the...
and if it's not on the Switch, I don't. This is a little bit late. This probably should have come out 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's kind of odd timing.
Or they can just release a new good Mario Party.
That would also do it. I don't think that's going to happen.
One without the Bowser mode. And
I think
Yeah, that was weird.
Mario. The Bowser mode's fine. Just get rid of the cart.
Yeah,
The going together cart. So
defeats the purpose of the board.
I guess that's true. The board doesn't matter anymore.
No, it really
So,
doesn't.
That's fair.
All that matters is the mini stars.
So stupid. The mini star. Whatever. Nick, what else we got?
I can do a few quick hitters. ARMS had a software update that they showed.
All right. What else we got?
They announced a new character for it and let you remap all the controls, which I think is good. I don't know why.
It's almost sad that was an announcement and like a big.
It's a new
they
character.
were like,
ARMS is pretty hot right now.
okay.
Mine are. It's hot up here.
It is
Well,
hot
that's
up here.
true. The ice not doing as well as I thought it would.
I don't know what
One
you
of my
thought it
things with a
would
lot of games is I don't know. I mean, this is coming from playing PC stuff all the time. I don't know why remapping your controls to how you want isn't a standard in every single video game ever. So it is sad that something like that is an announcement. But so we had that. Splatoon
That used to
2.
be in here. There's a wall here now.
Splatoon 2 has its usual new maps, new guns. I think they brought back one stage, Kelp Doom, from the first game. So
Yeah,
that
it's a good stage.
Yeah,
Actually,
already.
it's one of the better ones.
yeah,
It's fun.
so that got
They got a new
little bit of
weapon
feedback.
that's like a bigger umbrella.
Yeah.
The umbrella, super annoying. I hate that weapon, specifically when people super jump and they land and they open the umbrella when they land.
Instantly
And I'm
open
like,
the umbrella.
Oh, they have an umbrella. And then
You
I
just
die.
paint the umbrella.
There's a new one that's like a tent that covers way more, and if you stand in a circle and use it, you are completely covered. Like it'll cover all 4 of you. So
just
that's-
like a team of Spartans in the game.
So yeah, you can just move around like this, I guess, and not get killed.
That would be awesome.
You just make a tank.
It is it's an option.
Both
Too bad you
Doom,
can't play with your friends if you want to.
both
Yeah.
Doom and Wolfenstein 2 got announced.
This is the biggest news, I think.
I think, yeah.
Yep.
So this is I don't know if it's the first. I guess we get in like sports games and stuff that are like downgraded versions of them for the most part. But this is a current gen, not a past gen like port. This is a current gen game, Doom, coming very quickly to the Switch, and people are enjoying it. Like its
Yeah.
graphics are worse and its frame rate's lower, but you get
Oh, yeah.
portability and everything, so that's totally fine. And the bigger one to me is that Wolfenstein
Yeah.
is showing.
Obviously,
I'm
it's a delayed
shocked.
release with Wolfenstein 2,
Yeah, that's-
but still, I mean,
I think that was pretty smart, actually, because I think people might not buy it for other things now.
Yeah.
To be like, well, I get to play it wherever I go. I do think it's a little weird. Doom has the multiplayer, though you have to be on Wi-Fi for that. They aren't
good luck.
great portable games.
Yeah.
Both of those, like, they're more, especially
Well,
Wolfenstein.
you don't
They're
get
more
any-
Seems like it'd be
story.
You don't get any
Yeah,
benefit
Doom's
from
definitely
it.
better.
Where something like Skyrim,
Right.
obviously Bethesda's fully on the train of VR
yeah.
and Switch and
Oh,
all
I
that.
would also like to point out the other week we were talking about, Bethesda has another game. And
Yeah.
no, it's blah, blah, blah.
Ding.
It was Doom.
Yeah.
Doom
It was
for the
just
Switch.
Doom.
We figured it out, guys. Good job.
But yeah, these two, maybe Doom a little bit, but you don't really get any added benefit, particularly from playing a mobile. Doom is all about, at least to me, is staying in that experience the whole time and not playing a couple hours and needing to recharge. And Wolfenstein, like you said, it's a story-based game. So
It's still a cool game to play on like a plane. Though.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a bad
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Especially like Doom at least has Wolfenstein does too, but you have your secrets and your collectibles, and it's easy to hop into a level and play a level or two and then shut it off. Like it
Yeah,
kinda works.
Doom's got very clear like levels. And,
Yeah, it kind of works for the portability thing.
You have to have headphones though.
That'd be a very intense airplane ride.
Playing
Playing Doom on the airplane.
Why is that guy sweating with us?
Yeah.
I like it. Anything else from that direct?
Last one is more Fire Emblem Warriors. They're starting to show gameplay and like actual bits and pieces of the story and the chapters and stuff like that. They showed off a new character, Lindis. Tiki. I think Tiki might have been in Tokyo Game Show. I don't know.
I saw Tiki.
Yeah,
that's all.
She's in there.
She's somewhere.
But they showed off Lindis, which is one of the. There's 3 protagonists in Blazing Blade, which is the prequel to the one with our boy Roy, and that's the one he comes from.
Rhymed.
That's what they chant in Smash. But anyways, so that was cool because she's sort of a fan favorite who's got lost in the years. I forget what year.
We like Ike.
But that one was cool because this game was from a Game Boy Advance Fire Emblem, so it's way back. So it's cool that they're pulling out some of the older people, whereas most of the ones that they've shown recently have all been like Crom and
Do we
past.
have a date for this game? Do you
Crom.
know?
Yeah, it's October 20th or something like that. Yeah,
Ooh, it's near Mario.
yeah, it's
That's
right in the
not
thick
right
of stuff.
I would rather it be November. I actually want to play this game. That's
Yeah,
fun.
I would like to.
The cool thing too is that it showed off the typical sort of Fire Emblem upgrade system as far as your characters and weapons and stuff like that. But it's cool to see that in a Dynasty Warriors kind of setting.
Yeah,
So
I really like
they're-
Hyrule Warriors. So.
yeah, so
I'm down, but it being near Mario is a problem
Mhm.
because I'm gonna put.
No, it's not.
I've seen a lot of Mario now. There's a lot to do in that game.
It
yeah,
being
it is.
7 days before Wolfenstein is a problem.
Not to me.
I'm pretty sure 10/20 was the date, so it sounds about right. But yeah, I thought it was cool because it's starting. Because anytime you get this, like, here's Zelda mashed with Dynasty Warriors, here's Berserk, like I played earlier this year, mashed with it. Here's Fire Emblem mashed with it. You always kind of wonder, like, how much is it going to be the game that they're adding in, or is it just going to be Dynasty Warriors reskinned? So it's cool that they're pulling a lot of actual Fire Emblem stuff into the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the Zelda one felt more like a Dynasty Warriors reskin, but that's
Yeah.
kind of how Zelda, I feel like, would feel in that universe. They did things like the Dragon Quest Heroes game that was more like an RPG that had like vendors and you could buy stuff and upgrade, and
Yeah.
it was more RPG based to fit the game. So
Yeah.
we move on.
That's all I got.
Okay, good. Next, Sony did their conference, so I have some notes from here. I am missing one crucial one. I can't remember the name of it. If you want to look it up, it's the Armored Core Director.
Sure.
game.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
It's 2 words, whatever the title is. I can't-
Armored Core?
Oh, that's it. No. So first off, they opened the show. They did a Red Dead tease with a little bit of like a snippet of like gameplay and a little bit. I don't know
Just
if
a
you
little bit.
saw that before.
No.
Or was that the?
I think that was the-
debut
I hadn't, yeah.
gameplay
Yeah.
for Red Dead at 2 a.m. So that was sweet.
Odd timing, but whatever.
Just once again, kind of going quick through them. Noctis was revealed as the Dissidia fighting character.
That's all I needed to see.
I knew that was coming.
Oh, yeah.
But it's
I
good
just
to
I
get
just
the-
needed it confirmed before I put the pre-order
Good to
in.
get the
Yeah,
confirmation.
yeah.
Dragon's Crown, which is a game we all very much enjoy, coming to PS4, 4K, all that stuff. Your saves transfer over.
Thank God.
Nice.
Interesting. And that's coming out in January, so that's going to be a January
Cool.
game, which is nice. Dragon's Crown Pro, I believe it was called, if I remember.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Um,
I'll probably get it. I don't think
Yeah,
I don't remember if I got the PS3 one or not, but
I always just played it here. I never
yeah,
actually bought the
same.
game.
But
That
I
game's
wouldn't
really
mind.
It is.
I wouldn't mind
Surprisingly
grinding
good.
out one character just so I could probably upload it and bring it here.
Yeah. Final Fantasy IX was announced and released. This is the upgraded version of the game. You can make it run at faster speeds. You can turn off the random battles. You can make yourself all powerful. So you can just see the story and like murder everything really quickly. Yeah, so it's the same thing that they did with Final Fantasy VII a couple of years ago. This is the Final Fantasy IX version of that. So that's really cool. Especially because lots of people did not know this until this came out, which is a very common thing. The people who are like, Final Fantasy IX's my favorite Final Fantasy finally came out of the woodwork. And I'm getting all these messages from people that are like, it's my favorite one, you need to play it.
I
Where
have not
did you
heard that
come-
ever.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, like, people. It's the last one on the PlayStation 1, and apparently it like perfected the
It pulls
PlayStation
everything
1
in, yeah.
stuff because it came out when the PlayStation 2 was already out, like,
Mm-hmm.
and it pushes the PlayStation 1 to like PlayStation 2, early PlayStation 2 like levels because it's so late in the PlayStation.
Yeah, I've heard 9 is the best or favorite
cycle.
before it's.
So I'm gonna check this out eventually in my lifetime. So PSVR, they had a lot of announcements for it. They had Gunframe, which looked really cool. Japan Studios Music VR, which is they do a concert every year. And they play music from their games.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the Gravity Rush music, but they play a whole bunch of music. You can experience the concert in VR now, which is always cool.
There's music in those games?
The big one, though, was Zone of the Enders 2 is getting remastered, which is a Konami game, which is interesting. It's a Kojima game on top of that. It's getting remastered and is in VR. This is a mech game with lots of running, and this sounds like it's going to be a tough VR.
I feel like the old one had a Metal Gear demo on that disc. Okay, that's how I remember playing
That's why
it.
everybody remembers that game, but it wasn't a bad game at all.
Yeah.
So this is actually an awesome announcement and a good thing for VR to have. Earth Defense Force Iron Rain, which is interesting. It looks good. It doesn't look like a bad game, and it's got
None
a
of
story.
them look like bad games.
Shut up. And it's got a story, and it's like they're like, oh, the world's in a like. It's not campy, I guess is the best way to put it. Like they're treating this way more seriously.
Or so you think.
That's what they want you to believe.
They're just trying to hook people like you in.
The camera's different. Like they changed the.
I'd hope so since it's VR.
No.
That's
sorry.
not the
This
VR?
one's not
Okay.
VR. We're out of VR land now. So yeah,
So they need to get on
the
that.
camera's different. It looks more like a
I would
Resident
buy
Evil.
one for that. VR just for EDF.
It looks more like a Resident Evil 4 camera where it's closer
Gotcha.
to the person. Actually looked kind of interesting.
They all do.
Did you find that game?
Yeah, it's
Left
right there.
Alive. Okay. Yeah, we got the Metal Gear artist, we got the Armored Core director, I believe, the mech designer from Xenoblade Chronicles X, all working on one game. They've put out some gameplay and snippets since then. It looks like Metal Gear. It looks very
Fair
much
enough,
like
yeah.
Metal Gear, and I want to say with mechs, but Metal Gears are mechs.
Yeah.
it looks like Metal Gear, so I imagine that game's going to be awesome, and it's a Square Enix game. I think that's important to throw out there. And then the show ended with Monster Hunter World, with the big surprise that it is coming worldwide January 26th.
That game looks pretty.
Very soon.
Which is a lot sooner than anybody thought.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. And then some people were like, well, it's Japan, and then they went worldwide. I was like, oh, sweet.
That's cool.
Game looks super pretty, and I will be getting it.
So tell me about this game, if you know the answer. Is this like Everybody's Golf? Where I go into a map and it's like 50 people in this map.
Well,
and then I do
remember,
whatever
this
I
is
want
the first
and go
time
back
they're
to the
doing this sort of
lobby.
system for Monster Hunter. At least the ones that I've played, which is, I guess, 4 Ultimate and a couple of the ones before it, were just like a single-player contained story. So this is the Final Fantasy 14 of that series, I guess, if you want to think about it like that.
It's like, well, that's like a MMO, like a straight MMO.
That's a full-on MMO.
We're getting
yeah.
close.
So, like, I was hoping, because I will probably play it if it is this, it was like Everybody's Golf, or even a Destiny is not a bad example, where you join, like, whatever map. You have, like, a hub world that's kind of just like you and what your equipment, whatever you need. You prepare there. And then you go out into the world, but the world is a server of, like, up to 50 people doing whatever they are. And you can be like, hey, I need help taking down this. Let's go. Like, very similar to how
So
Destiny
more
works.
of like a Phantasy Star sort of system where you
Sure.
meet in a hub and then like select a mission and then go on that hunt.
No, not quite that. I mean, you could have the ability to do that too, but Everybody's Golf is really the best example. Everybody's Golf has its single player thing that you do whatever, but then you can hop into the multiplayer where you do whatever you want. You can just hit the holes or whatever, but there's also 50 other people around you doing the same. The difference is a bunch of them would be fighting monsters or doing whatever you do in this game, and the monsters would just be roaming the world, and you could
They're
get
just
a team
around,
together and
yeah.
all like wail on it. Maybe it could be like Destiny where it's like an event is starting. If you
Ooh,
want to get to.
I found a rare monster. Let's go beat it up. Yeah.
Like an event popped up that you can go do, things like that.
Honestly, don't know the answer to that yet, but I feel like I thought I had like 8 to 10 months to think about this game, and the fact that they're releasing it
Yeah.
so soon, pushes it to the front of the table a little bit more. So it's definitely something to look up for sure. But I did see the character creation shown off, and the game's beautiful. So
Yeah, we
I've
already
definitely heard a lot of
knew
people talking about how pretty it is.
yeah, is very much more in depth than the Monster Hunter games that I've played on my handheld
3DS.
systems.
Yeah, I had 3 Ultimate on 3DS. Probably looks a little better than that one.
Yeah.
I do want to point out, this is just a total aside. I don't like my 3DS. I've talked about that a lot. I don't like how it feels. Played on a normal 3DS, not the XL. Liked it a lot more.
Really?
I think I like the... Yeah, it's just smaller. It just feels way better to me.
It's smaller, yeah. It's not extra large.
Yeah, I almost want to get a normal one. Because
Get one.
I picked up the old Chibi Robo. There's some 3DS games that I've been looking at because they're dropping in price now that the Switch is coming out. We can get them for really cheap. It's just like $3.
Unless it's got Pokemon in the title.
Yeah, well, I don't want that. Might have to get a regular 3DS, and
I'm sure those are cheap too now.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're
I still kind of want a new 3DS, but
just swap.
yeah. I mean, mine's an XL, so.
A new.
Next up, the ESRB is now required for all physical releases. So if you are putting out a physical copy of any game, you now have to have the ESRB. It used to only be, I believe, that if you were being sold in a store. So if you were directly selling your game to people, something like Limited Run or I Am 8-Bit or something like that, those games didn't have ESRB ratings because they didn't have to, because they weren't being sold in a public...
It's not being displayed for,
setting. Apparently the rules have changed, and now...
Freaking Night Trap got us again.
That must have been it. Now you have to put your ESRB ratings on anything that is a physical medium across Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. I think it looks better on the cover of games, honestly.
Sometimes I like it,
It's
yeah.
a little weird to look at a game that doesn't have one, personally.
It doesn't feel real, almost.
Yeah, there's something... It feels like somebody printed it out.
Something's
and just
off, yeah.
stuck it in. But...
Oh, well, once you hit 18, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
It's like movie ratings.
Yeah, I can't even... Like, R-rated movies and even PG-13 movies, there's that point where, like, those were a big deal. It's
Yeah.
Like, I'm watching this PG-13
I'm 12 and I'm
movie.
watching PG-13.
Yeah, and now we're just like, oh, what's going on? This guy's sawing off this guy's head and throwing it, okay.
Now we're the ones where if we see the 12-year-old in the R-rated movie, we're pissed.
Oh, my gosh. When I went to
Doesn't
see
bother me.
it, there was a bunch of probably 9-year-olds.
I'm 29. I still don't want to watch
a whole
it.
bunch of them. And yeah, the attendant like came out and made note of it. They're like,
Yeah.
there's younger viewers here. Please don't go on your cell phones. Please don't talk. And everybody started clapping. I was like, this is an awesome manager or whatever she was.
Quality
to the
person.
movie theater. Next up, Fortnite accidentally allowed crossplay between PS4 and Xbox. They, I guess, flipped that switch. A lot of places are like, yeah, it's working. We're just... Sony won't allow it. Apparently, Fortnite didn't care. Some Xbox players were running into some PS4 players, and they took it down since.
Yeah, it was funny seeing the
That was a
people
thing.
that realized, like, when it first happened, because they were like, I tried to type this in on my PSN or whatever, and I couldn't find the name, and then just on a whim, I turned my Xbox on and found them. So
Yeah. So that's interesting.
I just like that it was an accident when you know they did it on
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah,
and
They're just showing
just
it
to
off.
take a
like,
jab at
Yeah.
because Rocket League was like, yeah, it's done. We just
Yeah.
need to turn it
We
over.
need-
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was saying. Like the timing's too convenient. It's still pretty close from that E3 kind of debacle where
Yeah.
they were like, "So, are you ever going to allow this?" And then he had to put him on the
they're
spot.
just making sure everybody knows
Yeah.
that like Sony's not allowing this. I actually think in this case it was Xbox that made them take it down right away, but I'm not 100% sure.
No, it was definitely Sony because I think Phil Spencer chimed in and it was like, "Oh, I wish they would have just left it on."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You just leave it going, yeah.
And then finally, sticking with Fortnite, this is an interesting story. Fortnite basically allowed a battle royale mode. They put it into the game. It's in like early access, but if you buy the game, you have it. I don't know. Early access is stupid. And it is, you dive in on a parachute, you land, there's 100 other players, you gather resources, guns, weapons, etc. You fight until there's one person left, you're the winner.
Sounds a lot like another game.
Sounds a lot
Sounds
like
familiar.
PUBG, which is a very popular game that has the same exact premise, I guess.
Yeah.
So they tweeted out that after this happened, they tweeted out that they are contemplating taking action against Epic Games for their Fortnite similarities, which is a very interesting stance to take because it put Fortnite, a lot of people were pointing out, you just like announce that they're doing what you're doing well. Like, if it was bad, people wouldn't
You'd
be
let
talking
them do
about
it.
it and nobody cares. But the fact that you specifically just brought attention to the fact that there is a console battle royale thing, and people who have PCs are playing PUBG, like,
Obviously, yeah.
they don't care. But now the people on consoles are like, what's this? What's this news article? Fortnite, what's that? I'm going to look into that. Like, I've looked into it. I might get Fortnite.
I think it looks cool.
It seems cool. Its gimmick is more you can build forts. You can build your own shelters and sniper towers and stuff for it. But, yeah, they specifically called out their competition, which put their competition more on the map. And other people were pointing out that Epic makes this game. You know what else they make? The engine that runs PUBG. So that might not have been a good,
probably not your best
idea.
idea.
Thing to do. People were pointing out that PUBG was directly created because of H1Z1
King of the Kill.
King of the Kill.
Yeah.
They're like, this doesn't
Y'all
make any
ripped
sense.
off somebody else, so
There was no benefit to doing this for
no,
PUBG.
whatsoever.
And all you may have done was boost the player base of Fortnite, so that was a little
That's one of those any news is good news or whatever.
Yeah, any press is good press type thing. But so yeah, I think they were just a little salty that they were supposed to be the first game like this on a console, and Fortnite was just like, we can do that in a week.
We can do this too.
We can
Watch
knock
this.
this one out pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was pretty useless. I mean, at the very least, it's the second most streamed game on Twitch at any point in time during the day.
PUBG.
Because League of Legends is usually number one.
And
unless
Worlds
there's some
just started for a league, so it's probably going to be huge the next month.
And yeah, I was going to say, unless there's some invitational tournament for a game, then it'll kind of take over the top spot. But yeah, I mean, it's super popular. More streams than you can count watching it. So they really had like everything to lose from coming out. Like
just like a bad PR
they're really
move.
Why even bring
They're
it
not
up?
really going to put a dent in their numbers, maybe in the Xbox copies that they sell, but I think they'll be just fine without it. And I think it was just more like you said, someone who was salty and someone who just kind of did like a knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah, it wasn't a great choice. But anyway, that's it for the news. We had a lot of it. So let's move into a quick question and then hop into a couple releases. I don't know how many super notable ones there are this week, but we'll have to see. But quick question. Where is a gap in your gaming library for a series that you enjoy? So maybe it might be one of your favorite series. Maybe it's just one that you like a whole lot and you skipped one of the games in the series or multiple games in the series. But one that you know you like that series and there's some reason why you didn't play X number of games. So I'll go first because I have a big one. Mega Man, my favorite series. Easy. Mega Man Legends was the game that I hadn't actually played through. I've owned it, but I haven't actually played through that game until 3 years ago. I went and I beat Mega Man Legends, and I enjoyed it very much. But I own Mega Man Legends 2 as well, and I've just never went and played Legends 2. I want to. I've tried a couple times and just haven't like hit my stride and played it all in kind of one sitting like I did with Legends. It's an older game, so it's only like 6 hours or whatever. But yeah, that is probably the biggest in my like Mega Man collection of games. I haven't played the RPG spin-offs and stuff. Once again, own them. Haven't played them, just don't care that much. I'll go through them before I die. But
There's no Mega Man Soccer.
that was a hole in the library that I got to play.
I know. It's
and
fantastic.
It's pretty good. And then another big one was the Kingdom Hearts games, and with the re-release of them all on one console finally, instead of being on DS, PSP, PS2, Game Boy Advance,
Mobile,
iOS, it's all on one thing, and I was able to go through those, so that was nice. But yeah, Legends 2 would be a huge one for me. You got Ultra Despair Girls. I know that one.
Easiest ones for me to name, I guess, is Ultra Despair Girls for Danganronpa. Grand Theft Auto, I'm not going to play the first two because that top-down view is atrocious. I can't do that.
Chinatown Wars?
Yes.
I think you're the only person now that's played Chinatown Wars.
Really? It's decent. I know where you're going with that, but yeah. But like, yeah, it's just the bad combination of really, really old and just they obviously turned things around with 3 and have been going since. Another one's Persona. I still really can't convince myself to play 1. I did kind of take a leap of faith and play 2. Really loved it. Just got to play the second.
Yeah, the problem is they remastered 2.
Yeah, the first one.
Right, the first half of 2. And then they remastered the second half, but only for Japan.
Yeah.
And that's a problem. You'd have to like emulate it and then get a patch, and at that point it's like, something.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like
you
can tell it's an old game that's been remastered, and then you get through the first part, and then the second part just has that obvious downgrade again. You're like, oh crap.
Yeah.
Because the reasons I haven't played the second part of 2 is the reasons I won't play a 1, because I mean it's the same kind of gameplay stuff. Where I'm just like, man, this is just too ancient for me, and I'm pretty much just considering just watching a kind of video over, just saying, hey, here's what happened. Probably another one. Yeah, I guess Persona, Danganronpa, and Grand Theft Auto were my biggest ones. Final Fantasy, I guess, can count because I like 12, I like 15. The other ones.
How many have you played?
12
and 15.
No, a handful. I've borrowed them from people. I've never bought one just because I've kind of played them through and I'm just like, okay, well, if I like this, then I'll go buy it, sort of thing. So when Blockbuster was the thing, rent it from there. When people had it, especially throughout college, they're like, oh man, you got to try this one. I'm like, okay, is it just as bad as the other ones? Cool.
See, I still haven't played a mainline one that I think Lightning Returns is pretty bad. Never mind. Never mind. I guess that's mainline.
Lightning?
So that one can kind of count, but I wouldn't count it towards my favorite series ever. One of my favorite series to not...
Yeah, one that, you're not upset that you're missing, but it stands out that you're missing.
And there's only a select few Mario games that I'll play. I like 3, I like 2, and stuff like that, but I obviously skip a lot of them.
Yeah, like one for me is Mario 64 DS, which was a re-release of 64, and I know it's worse than 64 in a million ways, mainly because there's no analog stick, so you can't, like, run. But I've always wanted to play that game.
Just to try it,
yeah, just to check it out, and I've just never brought myself to purchase it and check it out.
I guess a couple more interesting ones, too. Burnout, sort of the same idea. They had to take up to 3 games to kind of like really nail the formula and get it to where I liked Burnout. The first 2 games weren't really that great. And also Forza games. I like Forza Horizon, but I don't like mainstay Forza because I'd rather play Gran Turismo at that point.
Fair.
Which I guess can also count towards Call of Duty because I liked the Infinity Ward Call of Duty games and not the Treyarch ones, so I guess that technically counts too.
There's another one too, right? Black something?
Yeah, eventually a third one came out.
They don't count.
How about you, Kellen? Do you have any?
The first one that came to mind was I really like to play Uncharted Golden Abyss, but
it's trapped on the Vita and you can't play it on the Vita TV.
Exactly. I don't have a way to play
That's
it.
pretty rough. I have a second Vita you can borrow.
Yeah, I don't like you though. So.
Okay. Well, just unplug this. BioShock 2.
I've played it. I still own it. Didn't finish it.
There you go.
It's fine.
You probably played more multiplayer in it.
I played a lot of multiplayer.
Yeah, that was his problem. That was the same problem with The Last of Us.
Same problem. Yeah, but I don't care about missing that game.
He started it, and then
I was like, this game's kind of cool. Ooh, the multiplayer's fun.
He just never went back.
Yeah, that was my BioShock 2 pro. I died once, like, trying to defend a body, and I just went and played multiplayer. Never went back.
I was going to say that's near the end of the game, but I'm pretty sure that's all you do in that game. So.
Yeah, I'm on, like, a balcony trying to... I'm like, I'll do that later.
There's a lot of that.
I'd like to go back and play a lot of the old Fire Emblems, but that's kind of hard to do sometimes.
You might need to do some emulated, like, cheat stuff.
Yeah, see, that wouldn't bother me. I'd like to do that.
I thought about doing that, like, making a list or, like, a big, huge backlog of all games like that I wanted to play and just emulate them with, like, cheats, like invincibility and stuff, and just kind of check them out.
I mean, that's how I do the KOTORs when I go through them now. I turn on my save game editor and just
mess with everything.
It's one of the best ways to play those games because it's just like you walk into the first area, check this little bin over here. Oh, here's every item ever.
I don't even do that. I just turn my stats way up.
Oh.
I literally go in and
the old-fashioned way.
I just edit everything. I'm just perfect. Mostly Fire Emblem. I've always wanted to play the old Grand Theft Autos, but I know I'll never get to them.
Right, yeah, that's
fair. You
know. Let's move into the releases. We have Light Tracer for the PS4. We have Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash, which has a bunch of anime chicks with super soakers. On the beach. So that game's got to be great. We have Batman Enemy Within the next episode. I saw a little preview for this. They have some new characters from the Batman universe in it, and I am not a fan of what they are doing. I really didn't like their interpretation of any of the characters besides maybe Harvey Dent in the first time. Like even the Batman, like the Bruce
he's kind of weird,
like, Troy, I don't like this one. Ruiner is coming to PC, PS4.
The band?
Yes, the band. Raid World War II is coming to PC.
I was hoping you were going to say the raid.
Yeah, me too.
SteamWorld Dig 2 is coming to the PS4 and the Vita. I might have to look into that game. People are really liking it. Maybe on Vita, but it just doesn't seem like a game that I would get into. It reminds me a little bit of Spelunky, and we all know how we feel about Spelunky.
God.
I'm so stupid. Danganronpa 3. What am I?
I was waiting.
I'm so dumb.
Didn't you talk about
also,
it earlier?
Yeah, I actually didn't realize it was coming out.
I was gonna say there should be another one Friday.
Fallout
big game.
4 Game of the Year edition.
No,
No.
something to do with that, and that.
Neo is getting an expansion.
Ooh, cool.
Megaton Rainfall is coming to PSVR. That is the superhero PSVR game where you get to play a superhero like Superman, like an stoppable superhero, and you fail the mission if you destroy too much of the city while you're trying to save it.
Oh.
So
That's kind
Gonna
of
be
cool.
doing a lot
yeah,
of
it seems cool. Flying's probably really cool. It looks like it might be a little janky though, so I'm waiting.
Except I don't like Superman,
on
so,
this
you
one.
know.
Blue Reflections coming to PC, PS4. Some more anime girls. Voltron VR by DreamWorks is coming to PSVR. That looked awesome. That looked like an episode of the show.
I was gonna say it's a good way to sell to like 40-year-old guys.
Yeah,
Put
I'm
some
very
Voltron in
curious
there.
about that. Once again, I'll wait and find out. Mario Bros. The Arcade Archives is coming to Switch, which is the the original 2-player arcade single-screen Mario game. You told me there was something else. Redwall? What are you pointing to?
Cup, head.
Oh, jeez. FIFA 18,
No.
One Piece Ultimate World, Unlimited World, Yokai Watch 2, coming to 3DS, another one? Jeez.
Todd's excited.
Yep,
Iron Power, Cuphead.
and Cuphead.
I
There.
found it.
We got there.
And then the rest are just games that they've announced that are coming in September, but
I'm excited to try Cuphead.
yeah, I'm really hoping it's good. Microsoft needs a hit, and I'm hoping that is its first one. Because I don't know if you guys seen the Forza stuff. Apparently, Forza not very good. The new
I
one.
haven't heard anything
Hadn't
about it.
heard.
Apparently, the impressions, like hands-on stuff, people are playing it, they're not liking it. And this Project Cars game that's come out has been getting awesome reviews. I don't know. I don't play racing games except for Mario Kart.
And this is
I don't know how to
a
compare those, but
this is a Gran
Forza,
Turismo year too, so you don't want your Forza game to suck if Gran Turismo's hitting.
That's
so.
fair.
Yeah, it'll never have a chance.
And that's what I was saying. Yeah, this was saying a minute ago. Just for whatever reason, mainstay Forza games don't really do it for me. But the Horizon games, when they kind of just go off the
I
beaten
love
path.
Horizon 3, but I've never even played I've played them. I've never owned a mainstay Forza game, so.
So yeah, Danganronpa
Oh, yeah.
probably big scoop coming on that next week, and then maybe a little bit of Cuphead. Anything for you? You need to play the other Danganronpa still.
I have them. I've had them for months.
I know you've had them.
I got them on Steam for pretty cheap.
They have pretty decent pacing because I mean, you do normal.
Oh, I know a lot
normal
about the
life.
first game and a
Yeah,
fair amount about the second one.
feel like you know the stories already,
Yeah.
but do the normal school life or daily life, and then case like it's really. It's sort of like Ace Attorney, just kind of that pace where you're just like, okay, I'll figure out what's going on. I'll do the case. Oh, okay, it's time for another story. It's like, damn.
Yeah, say I did a story and a case every day until I just beat them. Yeah, except for the one where I had knee surgery and I just beat it all in 2 days.
Yeah, you were.
I was like, ooh, I can't walk. I guess I'm just gonna beat this game.
I guess I should have said that.
And I was like, ooh, but I want amiibos. I have to hobble to the car and get Kellen. To
You made
drive
me come and get
around
you.
to
Like,
get
I need to go
amiibos.
get these
I
amiibo.
needed to
Like,
get
oh,
picked,
God.
and I couldn't walk or drive, obviously. And I was hopping to the car. I'm like, Kellen, we need to go to Walmart and all these places.
It's like, where are we going
and
first?
see if
There's a
they have them.
GameStop and there's a... Oh, my God.
That was a fun day. Anyway, thank you for being here. Kellen,
Yeah.
thank you for being here. Nick?
You guys are really close to me. I don't like it.
Like
really.
spiritually or physically or mentally? What do you
Metaphysically,
think? Ah,
Mentally, yes.
like really dumb. We're all in the same
Yeah.
oh
bubble.
yeah, it's contagious.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll speak with you next time.
Check 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2 check 1 2 check one shit.
You suck.
How did that happen?
Oh no!
You've ruined everything.
Oh no!
I had to adjust.
Get out of here!
I worked
Let me drink this down so I don't accidentally.
I worked so hard to get that to you. You ruined it.